Namo Narayana and welcome to your premium Hindu magazine show, Sunday Sadhana, right here on SABC 2. In today's spiritual fair, we learn about the vibrant Pretoria Bhajanai Mandram and their truly exotic Sri Ayyappaa Kshetram. And for our worldly sustenance, we learn more about healthy cooking from our popular cooking series with Dr Jotirekha Premrajh. In South Africa, there is an outstanding edifice dedicated to Lord Ayyappaa. Sunday Sadhana visited the Sri Ayyappaa Kshetram in Pretoria, where his holy name is still sung with such enthusiasm, power and passionate veneration even today.
The word Ayyappaa itself means revered father, broken up into two words. Ayya means revered or honored person. Appa in Tamil means father. But Ayyappaa, in his significance in the Hindu pantheon of deities, represents the upholder of dharma or righteousness or the laws of the universe. He is called Dharma Sastra.
Sri Ayyappaa Kshetram, only unique temple built in South Africa to have Lord Ayyappaa as the main deity. Every weekend we perform special abhishekam to Lord Ayyappaa on Saturday morning, and on Sunday morning we have a very special weekly bhajan and satsang.
In 1994, I had a dream that I needed to go to Sabrimala in India. And when I went to Sabrimala and I came back, I had a vision of a temple that has to be built near a river. And I shared it with one of my very, very close friends. And we started our bhajan group. We didn't have an inkling that we would build a temple. And he once was doing census in this area. And he came to me and he told me, I went to see a farmer. And a farmer has got a piece of land that is adjacent to a river. And when I just saw it, I realized this is the place. More important, the farmer who sold this property had a dream that a temple was going to be built on his property.
On this gopuram, you will see, if you look at the first layer, it actually depicts the mythological story of Swami Ayyappaa, starting off where he was born, found on the banks of the Pamba River, going through his entire life story as depicted and as propagated in our Puranas, coming through, finally defeating a demoness called Mahishi, and you will see the last one on the right of the Gopuram, where he is depicted at the top of the 18 steps in his final abode at Sabrimala.
The 18 steps is the most important in terms of the Ayyapan worship. The 18 steps has its significance. Only people that take the Irumudi once a year are allowed to walk up the stairs.
Temples are built to represent a human body, and the Gopuram represents the feet of that human body. So from a distance you will be able to see this Gopuram, and this is called Gopura Darshanam, or viewing of the Gopuram, and just seeing this beauty of it should draw you closer towards the temple by using the very feet that it represents. So as you come closer, you will be able to see the different iconography, the different murtis, different depictions on there. And the Gopuram is not only decorated with divine pictures, they are human pictures, they are grotesque pictures, because it represents the barrier between the external material world and the internal spiritual world. As you pass through this, you come from the outside, through the Gopuram, through all this chaos, into the spiritual environment. As you pass through the Raja Gopuram, you will see the flag post called Dwajastambam and an altar of sacrifice called the Balipidam, where we look at the victory of our higher selves over our lower selves simply by passing through this Raja Gopuram and making the choice to enter into this divine environment. At the Balipidam, we prostrate because we wish to sacrifice our negative tendencies, our lower selves, and rise up a better being. And those symbolize the legs. We go into the temple, and the actual hall in which we sit in, it's called the Artha Mandapam, or it represents the stomach, where we digest all of this knowledge. Then we find the Sanctum Sanctorum, or Sannidhi, where the deity itself is housed, and that represents the heart. It's called the Garbha Graha, with the heart of the deity, because we all say we feel it in our hearts, we feel this devotion, we feel this love in our hearts, and that is verily where this deity sits, in the temple. Finally, you will see the roof and tapered structure of the temple, and, or the Garbhagraha itself, representing the head of a human being. And finally, at the top, you will see a kalasam called the Shikara, which represents the hair. It represents a human body in a reclining position, but what it really truly symbolizes is that every time we enter this temple, we are verily entering our own beings to discover what are we all about and how do we become better.
From our temples to our kitchens. Indeed, our scriptures and faith may nourish our spirit, but our physical well-being starts in the kitchen. Today we serve up more healthy cuisine with the learned Dr Jotirekha Premrajh as she prepares soya chunks and chickpea curry. To make this curry, you will need a 1/4 cup finely chopped onions, 1 bay leaf, 1 teaspoon mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon ginger and garlic paste, 2 tablespoons chili powder, 2 cups of soaked chana dal, 1 cup of soya chunks boiled in water with a pinch of salt and turmeric powder, a 1/2 cup of chopped tomatoes, 8 pieces of brinjal, Himalayan rock salt, and to garnish, a sprig of curry leaf, coriander, green chilies, and diced bell peppers.
We're going to now add a 1/4 cup of finely chopped onions. Allow the onions to soften. Add the ginger garlic paste when the onions are almost cooked. Add a teaspoon of water. We add the teaspoon of water to prevent burning. Once the ginger garlic paste is a golden color, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of masala. Now allow the masala to lightly roast, not too much because there's no oil and we don't want the spices to burn. Into this we're going to add 2 cups of soaked chana. To the chana, we will add 1/2 cup of water and stir. Remember, when we cook food without oil, we cannot put large amounts of water at a time because then the food is going to be more boiled. So we add our water a little at a time. Now that we have 1/2 cup of water, we can add another 1/2. To this, we'll add about a teaspoon of salt. We will cover and allow the chana to cook on low. While we're waiting for the chana to soften, we will fry the soya chunks. Because it's oil-free cooking, we're going to place the soya chunks in a non-stick frying pan. Now to this we will add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We've already added some masala, we'll just add a little more. So that's about 1/2 tablespoon. And continue to stir. Ensure that the masala doesn't burn. now let's go back to our chana. We will now test to see if the chana is soft. It's quite soft. So to this we're going to add our brinjal. There's about 8 pieces of brinjal here. Add our tomatoes with the brinjal. This is a half a cup of tomatoes that's going in. We'll add half a cup of water. Now we will allow this to cook until the brinjal is soft. We're now going to add the fried soya chunks. To this we'll add half a cup of water and give it a little stir. Leave this for another 3 to 4 minutes and then we're going to garnish.
Look only for the good in everything, so you absorb the quality of beauty. So be mindful of what you take in through your 5 senses and keep up the sadhana. Swamiye Saranam Ayyappaa.